Critical hit Punch All Nazis takes place in the early days of World War II and combines high adventure with cosmic horror. All dates, locations, and historical events are thrown out the window in order to create a fun story, so don't put too much thought into historical inaccuracies. All accents are done poorly, but with love, and no disrespect is intended. When you left Istanbul, you were on a big train, a big, nice, luxurious train. And that took you to Bucharest. And at Bucharest, you had to get off onto a smaller train and head north. And then a little while later, you got on an even smaller train, an even more rundown train. Until finally, about 10 miles away from the city of Ivazole, you had to take a cart and wagon through the mountains to get to this little town. And the town of Ivazole, that's what we're going to call it. People can write in from Romania and say, no, that's not how you say it. And I'll be fine with that. Also, I don't know if that's how people from Romania talk, but for the purposes of this exercise, let's say yes. This town looks like nothing has been updated in hundreds of years. The buildings are still wood with lath plaster on the outside, thatched roofs everywhere. There are some cobblestone streets, but even a lot of the side streets are just mud. And the people walk around like they would have in the 1800s, not the 1900s. And so this town is very quaint, but you can see as the main road, as you enter town, there is a road. The main road just leads out of town and up to, on a hill in the mountains, a large castle. As you get off the cart and the driver waves you away, you can see that the people in town are eyeing you suspiciously, and they get the feeling that maybe strangers are not a common sight in this town. Speaking of sights, here and there, you see some interesting symbols. You see one that looks like an eye, and above it you can make out the letters JMT, and then underneath it says C's. JMT C's. And then, so you see that symbol around town here and there. And another place you see something that looks like an ear, and it says JMT Hears. And so those are some signs that you see in this town as you are all standing there. Looking around.
Are these signs in English?
JMT are typical, you can see initials, or for those of you that can understand the language, it's pretty clear what these signs mean.
I'll tell them what they mean.
Yeah, there you go.
What do they mean?
This one says JMTCs.
Mm-hmm.
And this one says and that one over there says JMT Hears.
Mm.
Hence the ears and the eyes.
Got it. Is there one that says JMT demands or JMT commands you to kill or anything like that?
I'll tell you if I see one.
Okay.
The one thing that you do notice is that there is a severe lack of any Nazis.
Whew. Finally.
Like the country has been taken over by the Nazis, but there is no Nazi presence in this town.
That is surprising, seeing as how they know that there's an artifact here. Well, maybe the locals have successfully barricaded them, or maybe Nazis are just not willing to take a cart full of goats to get all the way out to this town.
Maybe something is actively keeping them out of town.
Maybe they just don't want to be seen or heard.
But JMT would see them and hear.
That's a good point. JMT don't like the Nazis, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe.
Interesting.
Okay. Let's see if we can pick up some provisions. Just in case we
Yeah, so you
Get
go
stuck?
into
Yeah.
a tiny shop that looks to be selling some kind of staples, bread, cheese, dried meat. The store owner does not come out from behind the counter, but simply tells you that if you want something from the shelves across the way, you need to get that yourself and bring it to him, and he will bring you out. We don't see too many strangers here.
Well, we're just passing through.
Ah, that's good. That's good. Bad times, I hear. Bad times, I hear.
Yeah. You guys haven't seen any Nazis here?
No Nazis here.
Is there a
Well,
reason
great.
for that?
Yes, of course.
Is it a reason you'll share with us?
The shop owner looks around. No, I don't think I will.
All right.
Fair enough.
Do they have like bullets or shells or anything?
Not in this store, no. This is
Okay.
like a grocery store type thing.
Sure. Sometimes like out in the country places, and it may just be because
Mhm.
I've spent way too much time in the United States, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes out in the country places, they're like, yep, here's some
That's okay.
bullets.
We've all been to Hayes.
Thank you for
city that
buying a
hasn't been
loaf of
updated in
bread. Here's your
centuries.
bullets. Okay. Well, we'll just, pick up whatever rations we've gone through.
Yeah,
And
you're able to buy those for surprisingly low amounts of money.
Yeah.
And the shopkeeper still feels like he's probably ripping you off.
sure, the monies to drachma exchange rate is pretty
Yeah.
out of whack.
I think it's pronounced Dracula.
No, they'll be a little further west of here.
Bela Lugosi's alive.
Really?
Oh,
I mean, at the time of this game, he is.
Of course, he's Dracula.
Yeah, he
Right.
doesn't.
Dracula, the Universal monsters in the 1920s and 30s were fantastic. 30s.
I mean, yes, but he was born in 1882.
18, I know, right?
I mean, and that's just
Bella
oh
didn't
my God,
die
he was
until,
born
like,
in the
the Eisenhower
1800s.
administration. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he died in 1956.
Yeah. And he did talk a little bit like this on occasion.
So, given how popular these movies are, I think there's like definitely an air of not saying it. And I feel like, okay, well, here we are in Romania, and we have to go to a castle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if there's nothing else, it's about time to close.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Is there an inn?
Yes, it's just down the street up to that way.
Great, thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye. All right, gents. You want to just head straight for the castle? Do we need to rest for the night?
How long have we been traveling at this point?
Oh, it's been at least a full day, if not more.
I would say rest is a good idea, especially if we don't know if the castle is very happy with visitors.
All right. Let's sleep in shifts in case there's any land migos.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll go find an inn.
Oh, hello.
Every time.
Welcome to the Ivazole Inn. Will you be staying with us long?
I don't believe so. Let's do
Very good, sir.
2 nights.
Yes. And what brings you to our little town?
We are mostly passing through, but
Oh, that's fantastic, sir.
we just we're not sure what the roads are like leading out of here, so we figured we'd rest up.
Yes, very good.
Do you know who lives in that big old castle up the road?
And he gets very quiet for a moment, and he leans into you and he says, "That is the Count Duke JMT." Anyway, and then all of a sudden, you start to hear a marching outside on the streets.
Uh-oh.
Wait. When we hear marching, is it like, or is that like honk, honk?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, it is like mini boots marching on the cobblestones and roads, and then you hear it stop just outside the door.
I'll peek
And the
out
door
window.
opens slowly. And a person walks in. The person is covered in a cloak, and they're kind of bent over, and they walk in. JMT sees, JMT hears. Yes, he does. And then he turns to the group of you. Hello. The master, the Count Duke, knows that you have arrived, and he welcomes you to our humble little city. And he tries to bow, but he's already so stooped over, he, can't bow that far.
Sure. Oh.
The great Count Duke would very much like to invite you up to his castle.
Oh, great.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
So you walk outside, and you are greeted by troops? ? These guys are wearing like very colorful, puffy pants in 3 different colors. Like there's a yellow color, a red color, and a black color.
Okay.
And they cinch up at the knees like pantalones, I guess. They're wearing like knee-high socks and some marching shoes. They have on like a puffy shirt with a vest that is red, and they all have a big hat with a feather on it, and the weapons that they're carrying are like battle axes, like the long battle axe. Yes, this way, please. And he starts walking, and the troops spread out so that they take up both sides of the street, kind of indicating that you should walk down the middle of the street.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you all start walking towards the castle, you hear that marching sound. They're all marching along in step.
Okay. So are these
guys look like they're from the 1600s. Have you guys seen the Vatican City Guard?
Sure, yeah.
And how they dress today? That's kind of how these guys are dressed.
Yeah, I was picturing some Ottoman Empire stuff.
More interestingly, more of an Italian influence.
Yeah, I get that. I see that now, like the Swiss Guard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which you're right. Seems out of place. You would think that you would see some Ottoman Empire or some
hussars,
some Russian,
or something.
Yeah, some
Sure,
Russian influence,
sure.
but this is definitely an Italian influence on this.
Do they have like big floppy hats, or do they have helmets?
Yeah, they have big floppy hats with feathers.
Do they all seem to be like fighting age, like
Yeah,
youngish men? There's not like
there's not like
old guys
it's
or
not
whatever.
like some old guys or anything like that. No, these are
it's like
these are good, strong fighting stock.
Yeah. So I have this could be like a color guard type thing, right? Or like a a ceremonial thing rather than these guys are actually like.
Do they have matching uniforms and?
Yep, everything is matching.
Do their weapons seem sharp?
Yes, they do.
Okay. All right.
Everything is polished. Everything is functional. It just looks way old and way out of place.
Okay.
So the Count Duke has his own personal guard.
That's Count Duke JMT to you, sir.
Forgive me. Count Duke JMT has his own personal guard?
These are the guards for the castle, the guards for the city.
Impressive.
Yes, it is. It is. And you are led down the street with the guard and the stooped man in a cloak. You can see some people peering out their windows as they go by to see what's going on. And, you're in the mountainous area. So there's a lot of up and down stuff. The roads are not great the minute you get out of town. It's a good thing you did try to stop for the night, because these roads would have been treacherous if you had tried to go during the day. But right now they are just merely, or at the night, but right now these are just merely a grand inconvenience. But it doesn't seem to upset the soldiers or the stooped old man.
Yeah. They're incredibly dangerous as opposed to potentially lethal.
I mean, we could roll for it and find out.
See, no,
It does.
I wasn't
The other thing
challenging you.
The other thing that is somewhat scary is when the roads drop off. It drops off. Like, you would not want to take a tumble here.
No.
And it's about a mile up to the castle. And as you get closer and closer to the castle, you notice that this is a dark castle. This is a castle that is using some of the regional stone, but the stone here is very dark. There's not like, polished sandstone or anything like that. Nothing that is gray. It's just like really, really dark stone. And the roofs are stone. There's moss growing on sides of the castle. There are, a few decaying cracks that run up the side. This is a pretty dark and spooky castle, but you do see a few lights on inside.
Lights or like torches, or can we even tell?
I mean, you can't really tell at this point, but if you may notice a little bit of flickering, which indicates that you don't see any power lines in this city.
I was like, they have electricity up here.
There's a light on at the Frankenstein place.
That's Frankenstein. Eventually, you get up to the castle and you just see this is an immense, ominous castle. You cross a drawbridge and you look down and you really can't see the bottom. In fact, it looks like there's clouds maybe passing through, or some kind of mist or something that doesn't allow you to see the bottom as you cross the bridge into the castle. There are guards standing at the gate, and you enter a courtyard, and the man leads you over to a main entrance of steps and takes you inside a grand entryway. This castle from the outside looks kind of spooky, and you can tell that it's old. Inside, the antiquity shows even more. There are suits of armor. There are tapestries on the wall. The very high ceilings, obviously, in this grand entrance. You can see a chandelier with some candles flickering, at least a story or two above you. But there's also this smell of must and dust in this place. There's a staircases in front of you. It's one of those double staircases, one on each side, that curves up to the second floor landing, and you were all standing there. It's a good thing we found you. There's going to be bad weather tonight.
What kind of weather?
And at that moment, you see a flash of lightning outside, and you can feel the wind blow, and the wind must have found a crack through the entryway, because a couple of the candles on the chandelier blow out, and the room grows darker.
Super dramatic weather, I see.
And at that moment, another flash of light occurs, and you can see illuminated at the top of the stairs is a figure. Welcome to my castle. I am Count Duke JMT. Welcome. And the figure starts to walk down the stairs as the lightning continues to flash. This is a very old man. His hair is up in a big, like a bouffant kind of thing, like you might have seen in the 16 or 1700s in Italy or Germany, Vienna kind of style. He's wearing these long red robes as he descends the stairs to you. Welcome Welcome, welcome. And he comes up and he shakes each of your hands. He looks at you, Carlos. You have spent some time in Spain, I see.
Yes.
Very good. Keeping up the good fight. Yes. And he goes over to you, Blisco, and he shakes your hand. I do love the corn from America. Very good. Very good.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. He gets to you, Doc, and he shakes your hand. Welcome, welcome. You are a studier of the dark arts, I see.
I don't know if I'd put it that way, but
No, anything messing with the dead is definitely dark arts. But welcome, welcome anyway. Welcome, welcome. And then he gets to you, Valentino. Mr. Valentino. I love your movies. I watch them and I see them all. Oh, it's such a wonderful to have you here. Wait a minute. You're not Valentino.
No, it's a common mistake, but I appreciate your invite here to the castle.
Yes, you're from the South. The South of the Americas. Yes. Oh, I hear you have a big farm. Big farm. Very good, very good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Gentlemen, it is an honor to have you here at my castle. Tell me, what brings Americans to my doorstep on such a dark and stormy evening?
We are largely trying to get ahead of the Nazis.
Yes, the Nazis. Oh, I hate these guys. They have something that I want, and I have something that they want. And for now, fortunately, we are at an impasse.
What do they have that you want?
Oh, I think you know. I think you know. Count Duke JMT, he knows all. He sees all.
Okay, what do you have that they want?
And he kind of raises his hand, and suddenly, kaboom, another lightning strike happens. Enough talk for now. Please, please. Why don't we go to have some dinner? The hour grows late, and my stomach is quite empty.
Great, thanks.
I think we could all use a little bite or two. And he stares at you, Valentino, when he says that. Come. Xavier. Yes, boss. Please make sure the meals are set out for everyone. Yes. And he goes walking off in the opposite direction of where you are. It has been many years since I've had visitors to my castle. Well, I shouldn't say many years. It seems in the last couple of days there have been many, many visitors to my castle. Many visitors. And he's leading you down a hallway, and you see just this big oil painting of Count Duke JMT. And he is just in regal clothing. Again, it is very much of an Italian design, Northern Italian design. And he is just, he looks very stately. He looks very, very wealthy from the way that this painting is depicted. You don't see any other paintings of like a family lineage or anything like that. And he had to pick up a little candelabra to light the way. Unfortunately, we have not had the great services like you do in America with your fancy flickering electrical light bulbs, I hear. We still must rely on the wax and the talons of our dead pigs to light our way.
It shouldn't take too much longer to get everything out here.
And as he laughs, more lightning and thunder is rumbling as you exit the hallway and you enter into a grand dining space. All the furniture in here is very much of late 1500, early 1600s design. All wood. This table should seat like 25 people easily. Please sit. And as you approach the table, the candles all on the table all spring to life. Woof, woof, woof.
All right.
Please sit.
How's the seating arranged?
The Count Duke JMT sits at the head of the table, and then there are two seatings on either side of the table next to him.
Okay. I will sit next to him on the far side.
Okay. Well, how does everybody else sit? Who wants
I
to
will
sit
sit-
immediately to his left?
I can do that.
All right. Who's going to sit next to Doc?
I'll sit next to Doc.
Okay. And then that leaves you, Valentino, on his immediate right, and Carlos on the end part of that.
Okay.
Is that right, Rodrigo? Is that where you wanted to sit?
No, I wanted to sit closer.
Oh, you wanted to sit
him.
right next to him? Okay, so you'll sit to the right, and then Valentino sit next to him.
Yeah, that way I can play a little defense here.
Okay. Yeah, it does. He does look at Valentino quite a bit as you are walking along. Yes, please sit, please. And he claps his hands, and a person kind of just appears out of the darkness, and the person is carrying a wine bottle, and he pours wine for everybody around the table, and Count Duke JMT picks it up and gives it a sniff. Oh, 1627 was a great year. Oh, this wine is so good. He drinks, and you can hear him swish it around in his mouth. He does that thing and finally swallows it. Oh, it's so good. Oh, forgive me, my guests, please. Help yourselves to the wine. It is very delicious.
I have some wine.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody? Okay.
Or myself a minimum.
You know what, Blisco? This wine tastes fantastic.
Uh-oh.
This is like a treat and a treasure, unlike anything that has passed your lips and over your tongue. Look out, stomach, here it comes.
That's promising.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Boop, 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 you're dead.
Do you say that out loud? This looks promising?
No, that was definitely a Robism.
Okay, all right.
No, I was like, Blisco smack his lips and like, this is the best alcohol I've ever had.
Of course it is. I only have the best in my castle.
Coming from the person who has drank the least.
And what say you, Mr. Carlos Arbogast? What do you think of my wine?
I'll take a sip.
Sure does taste good.
It's good. It's earthy.
Yes. You can even taste a little bit of elderberries.
Oh, yeah.
So, what questions do you have for me, Count Duke JMT?
Well, since you are being so hospitable.
Of course, you're my friends. And he pats your hand, and as he's patting your hand, Carlos, he's looking right at you, Valentino.
What does his hand feel like? Is it just like
dry and leathery?
Oh, okay.
Like it's an old person's hand. Gross.
Well, I guess I was going more for
they haven't discovered moisturizer in Count Duke's JMT's castle yet.
That's fair. But it's just like wrinkly. It's not like callous in any way.
It's wrinkly. There are a few calluses there. There's a big old wart on one of his hands. It's got a little hair growing out of it.
Okay.
His fingernails look a little longer than maybe what most people would trim their nails to, but maybe this guy likes his cocaine.
I was gonna say he has servants, so he probably doesn't need to like use his hands all the time, but that works too. We are, like we said, trying to stay ahead of the Nazis, and we are concerned that they have their eyes on an object that is here in your castle.
Yes, they most certainly do. Yes.
We were hoping to take that to keep it someplace safe.
And you don't think it would be safe with me?
No, we don't know. The Nazis that are after it are these two particularly bad cadres, I guess, juntas. I don't know.
Yes.
They
Black
have
Sun, Knocked Wolf. Yes, I am familiar with him.
They are, as you know, particularly well armed and
Yes, they are.
well versed in the mystic arts as well.
Yes, I understand. And when he says I understand, he turns and looks directly at you, Doc. The undead magics that they employ are very dangerous, very concerning.
So we have a growing coalition between the remaining free powers of Western Europe and the United States. And by basically keeping things out of the reach of the Nazis, we're hoping to deny them this. They're expending significant resources in gathering these objects. So by simply even just moving them somewhere else without their knowledge, we could cost them significant time and personnel and material.
I know of the different factions after these artifacts. As you may have seen and heard in town, I see and I hear everything.
Uh-huh.
I know of your little adventures. Yes, I do. I received a message from a person that I believe that you're aware of, a Mr. Riddle. He called me, you know.
Oh.
Moments before he died.
Really?
Oh.
Yes, you were there.
We were there.
So you don't think that I can keep my artifacts safe?
It's not that we don't think that you can't keep it safe. It's that we are pretty mobile. By keeping it in one place, you're basically just asking for them to bring progressively larger, what are we calling them? Bipedal tanks? No. Like progressively larger ordnance.
Yes. Well, yes, the mobile tank man and the octopus head man and the wormy head man. Oh, you haven't even seen the ones that they call the star spawn yet. Oh, frightening things. Scare even me.
Well, that's what we're saying. By moving these artifacts and keeping them on the move, we are making sure that they never have access to all of them at the same time.
Yes, because if they do, they will open the gateway to Carcosa, and then the key of Solomon will be theirs.
So, what was your relationship to Riddle?
Oh, I'm a patron. I am one of the great patrons of all time. My monies made sure that these artifacts could be created, made sure that the artifacts could be distributed around the world, and could be kept safe.
Your monies specifically?
Yes, of course, it's always my monies. Everybody wants my monies.
I mean, as opposed to your ancestors.
Oh, yes, of course.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, eat. And he claps, and suddenly there's like men all around the table laying out dishes in front of you. It's steak. For you, Carlos, it is perfectly cooked the way you like it. For Valentino, this is the best steak you've ever eaten. Doc, your steak, you only wish that the people in Arkham could make a steak like this. And Blisco, yours is really, really rare. Really, really bloody. And Count Duke JMT just looks at you and watches you.
Where's yours, sir?
Oh, please. I am so old that I don't get the chance to eat that often. I like to enjoy other people eat. please enjoy your food. I want to watch. And he kind of is leaning in. He's kind of leaning in, looking at you more and more, Blisco.
I cut into it.
Yeah. It's pretty bloody. You see Count Duke JMT kind of lick his lips, looking at you like, yes, go eat
it. You sure you didn't want any, sir?
No, please. I had food last week. I'm perfectly fine. Please enjoy.
I go a couple hours without a bite and I'm cranky.
Oh, yes. On the train, you were very hungry. I know. I heard. So please don't deny yourselves. Enjoy the pleasures of the flesh.
Yep. So since he's very focused on us eating, I'm gonna try to catch him.
You're gonna try
basically
to catch him?
I'm gonna try to catch him. I'm going to bring up Unterberg, aka Underhill.
Yeah.
And see if I can basically get him to say, yes, I know him personally or something like that.
How do you do that?
Guess he seems very keen to be like, oh yes, I know all about this and blah, blah, blah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So basically I'm going to tee him up by talking about our adventure in, where were we, Kentucky?
Yeah.
And yeah, basically tee him up to be just yeah, and then we discovered a book.
Oh, really? Yes. That's fascinating.
And then
he's still staring at you, Blisco, as he's listening.
I mean, Blisco started eating.
Oh, Blisco. Oh my God, this is the best steak you have ever eaten. It is so good.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's where it was going to be.
Yes, you were saying about Underhill's diary, yes?
Yeah. Have you met Underhill?
Underhill was just an acolyte. I don't meet the lower class. I mean, I have never heard of this man, no.
Mm-hmm. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, my business dealings all across the world interact with so many different people. Sometimes we have dealings in this Kentucky that you speak of.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
More booms and flashes.
Sure.
Count Duke JMT seems to relish seeing the lightning flash in the windows.
Blisco, how's your tartar?
Amazing.
I knew it. You would love it just like that. Oh, sometimes I even amaze myself. So let's get it down to business, gentlemen. Why don't you tell me what you want?
I think we've basically told you what we want.
No. You've told me what you're doing. You've not asked me, what do you want?
We want to take the item that the Nazis are looking for and stash it somewhere where they can't get it.
Well, you should have asked me sooner, of course. And he points over to a doorway. And he's like, it's just over there. I keep it on a shelf. All of you, go, please, get it. It's yours. It controls the weather. How do you think I can make it boom and lightning whenever you walk in and whenever I'm making a dramatic moment and then suddenly, boom, crash?
I was starting to wonder and also worry about forest fires.
Oh, no. We have very few forests up here this high in the mountains. Lots of snow, lots of rain, but sadly, we have to go lower elevation to get to the wood.
It makes
get keeping this place warm a pain in the behind.
Mm-hmm.
You should all go. All of you need to go get the artifact together. If you don't do this as a group, if you don't do it as a team, I cannot in good conscience let you take the artifact.
All right.
Okay.
I'll walk over and wait for everybody else to line up, I guess. Like, yeah, walk over to where he said.
Okay, yeah, there's a doorway here that you really didn't notice when you first walked in. But yeah, there's a doorway there. Of course, you didn't really notice where the servants, appeared from or disappeared to. Maybe it's just because this is a dark castle. Their candle lights only illuminate so much in the dark corners, etc.
Sure.
But yeah, there's a doorway right here, and it looks like there's something glowing, like maybe a single candle inside somewhere.
As we walk towards it, Dutch is going to like unclip his unbutton his like shoulder.
No need for weapons. There's no need for weapons. And this room is very dark. It's like you thought that there was a light like at the other end of this room, but this is either a really long room or there was some trick with the light as you all walk in. And you can kind of feel your way across the room. You all have to take little baby steps. And then suddenly you all feel a whoosh of air whoosh by you.
Drafty.
And then those are the final words you say, Carlos says. All four of you drop to the floor dead as a giant swinging blade has all cut you in half. Critical Hit Punch All Nazis is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment and was produced and edited by me, Stephen Schleicher. If you would like to get a behind-the-scenes making of this episode, be sure to check out the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Each week I discuss my plans for the upcoming game session, and Dr. Brad Will is there to share his reactions and advice on how to be a better game master. I will warn you, though, there are spoilers galore in every installment of the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition. So, if you don't like spoilers and don't want to know what I am planning next, don't listen to these episodes. Though, I will say, if you do listen, you'll be able to see how and where the players throw a wrench into my plans, and you're also going to have greater insight into the world that's being built into this campaign. Finally, we want you to record yourself doing your best on Critical Hit and send it to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com, and your voice will join the growing chorus of fans in upcoming episodes as well. Thank you again for listening this week, and here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2024 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.